Here are 5 new comics that came out for the week of 7/29/2026, and I'm going to say whether you should buy or pass them. Now guys, welcome back to the channel, or if you are new, welcome to the Panel by Panel Comics YouTube channel with me, your host Jay. Today is my every Friday episode, at least typically every Friday, where I have 5 new comic books that are either an issue 1, new jumping on point, or something like that. And I say whether you should buy or pass them. And if you guys are new to the channel, please hit that like button and subscribe, because we are blowing up right now, loving all the love I am getting, because it's obviously really nice to feel that way. But we're starting off first with the main man of the week, or the main woman of the week, I guess I should say, the Queen in Black issue 1. The event got started this week, and it was all right. We start off with Noel trying to find out what he's doing, what his plan of attack is going to be for the planet Earth, because he's now the god of light, and Hela is the Queen in Black, the goddess of basically everything dark. And she's also devising her plan. So we get the introduction, we see where everybody's going to be going, what they're going to be doing. Then we go over to Iron Man, Venom, MJ, Peter Parker, Anti-Venom, Flash, and they're all talking about what has been going on in their realm of the things. All symbiotes, all spider talk going down. And then we update the Avengers, and we're slowly forming a plan of attack, or more like a plan of defense, for Noel and Hela, who are going to Earth. So they know that they are going there, and they're trying to come up with a plan to stop them. Hela then gets interrupted by Sorcerer Supreme Wanda, because she's trying to peer into the void and see who's there. But she tells her to be gone, and then Beta Ray Bill starts to have this remembrance of Hela, because Hela, and Tyr Odinson, the god of war, are the only ones that have memories currently of Asgard. And everybody doesn't believe him. They're like, what is this mythological place that you were talking about? But then he goes off to the light and dark side of things, that little tie-in series that I'm also going to be reviewing later in this episode. I'm going to be talking about that. But then the invasion happens, and Hela arrives on Earth, sends all these different symbiotes that she corrupted from all these different societies to Earth, and then the Avengers start to defend the planets, whether it's in Italy, Giza, Tokyo, New York, wherever it is. They all go out and they start to defend the planet Earth. And it was cool. And then we start to have another slowdown where we have some more planning and more deep dive talk from Nova, who got absolutely destroyed by Noel. And they're slowly finding out, oh, Noel's not actually the god of symbiotes no more. He's the god of light. Cable's doing his thing. And then the reveal at the end was pretty not good for me, personally. And it was a lot of dialogue in a 56-page book. I understand that that's going to happen. But it also being $8, for me personally, the Queen in Black events, at least this main title, issue 1, is going to be a pass for me, because I'm not liking it. It's too much going on. You're trying to tell way too much, and in an event that should be somewhat contained to just the symbiote side of characters, I think getting all the Avengers involved is kind of hurting my brain a little bit, because of the Avengers Armageddon event also going on right now. So while this is happening, I'm also like, wait, isn't Captain America technically in a coma because of Avengers Armageddon, and all these different things are happening? I'm like, why is people here? They should be doing this, this, and this. So for me, it's a pass. I just think that happens when you're having 3 huge events that are going on at the same time, because you also have DNX about to happen in September. So you might have 3 huge Marvel events going one into each other, weaving in and out. So that's another reason why Queen in Black is going to be a pass for me. Next up, we have the Patron. This is issue number 1, 32 pages for $5 from Ignition Press. This is written by Christian Ward, and the art is done by John Pearson. And the art style, you'll probably notice, is more like a painting. It's not like a well-drawn penciling. It's more like an actual art canvas. So I did kind of like that, but you get to meet this main character, the main villain for this series, Mr. Cherish. And he buys these paintings of young and up and coming artists, and he kills them to sell off their art to the highest bidders for even more money because they are a deceased artist. And everybody knows once somebody dies, all their stuff becomes extremely valuable, whether it's art, music, whatever it really is, sports memorabilia. And then you get to meet the actual main character of this series, Matt Barnes. And he is a former drug addict, or they call him Matty Barnes. I'm just going to call him Matt Barnes. Anyways, he's an artist who had severe addiction problems. He has this really good girlfriend in his life, and she's telling him, I love you. You need to really think about this because I think you have a future in it. And he gets an email from Mr. Cherish, and he's obviously trying to convince him to sell off his artwork for his art gallery that he's about to have. And he inevitably gives in. And then we get to opening night with Maddie not showing up, but the wife, Mr. Cherish, and all these eligible buyers are there. And Mr. Cherish is saying, I'm sure he's off celebrating. Well, he may have celebrated a little too hard, and he's dead. So they have the funeral already. Mr. Cherish doesn't show up because he doesn't care. He just wants all the money that is going to come in after selling off this art gallery that Matty Barnes sold over to him. And the wife is starting to think, well, it's unbelievable. I thought he was way past that, but I mean, I only knew him for a year and a half, 2 years. And then we go to Miami to check on Mr. Cherish, and it turns out they might not have actually killed Matty Barnes. Instead, it either was somebody different or he's either resurrected from the dead. I'll leave it up to you to find out with the ending of this book. But this was a really, really good opener. It had me hooked. I already hate this character of Mr. Cherish, and you feel for the main character. I assume it's going to be in Matty Barnes, and also the girlfriend as well. But this was fantastic from Ignition Press. Patron, issue number 1 is a buy. I highly recommend you guys go and get this book. Ignition Press, you're always cooking. I mean, that is some straight heat right there with Christian Ward. And John J. Pearson. Can't forget the artist. The next book we have to talk about is Predator vs. Planet of the Apes. This is issue 1, 32 pages for $5. This book starts off with these astronauts following their mission of Colonel Taylor, I believe, and they get shot down from outer space, and they're like, oh my gosh, what in the world's going on? They get shot down. Nearly the entire crew dies except for 3 members. 2 members are by themselves. 1 got shot out of their ejection chair or whatever. And then they get greeted by these 2 apes, Dr. Zira and Dr. Cornelius, and they want to help them, but the 2 men decide to be men and be savages and try to, I guess, take their masks off because they think that they're Russians, and they call them dirty Russians and all these different things. And then that's whenever the Predator comes into play and kills these 2 men because it was probably triggered by the attacking force of the 2 guys, not recognizing that they were just confused. All it recognizes is that they are a threat to whoever is in the vicinity. So then he continues on looking to see what else he needs to do to make this place more safe. And these doctors, Zira and Cornelius, are very fascinated by him. Come to find out, the other person that got ejected, Dr. Arch, or Arch is her name, she's with the humans of this Planet of the Apes civilization. They obviously can't speak. They're not smart. They're not intelligent. But the apes read this prophecy where they need to kill all the humans because if they don't, they will rise up and take over them. So then the Planet of the Apes start to go on the attack. And when they do that, the Predator recognizes that the apes are trying to kill the people, and he starts to kill them and goes on a rampage. And then that sets up the proposition at the end, because Arch also feels like she has to protect herself, but maybe the Predator is triggered by the, I guess, attacking forces of the Planet of the Apes. Personally, this is not a bad book, but for me, this is going to be a pass. I'm sure I would have preferred it a lot more if I am very indulged in the Predator or the Planet of the Apes universe 20th Century Studios, but for me personally, I couldn't get too into the story. I like the concept, but I don't see where this is going to go, and it doesn't make me want to get another issue. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comments, because it was intriguing. I'm probably in the minority for this, but I'm curious if y'all are going to be buying or passing. The next book we have to talk about is The Dirt Beneath the Devil. This is issue 1 from Mad Cave Studios, written by Dan Panosian, and the art is done by David Faraci. And this takes place in 1891, and it follows this family that is going to read the will and testament of the late father in this series, I guess, or this universe, where he was a very wealthy man, but he was a very angry and made life hell for everybody, essentially. And nobody really truly liked him. They all loved him because he's their father. They're related to him in some way. But when we meet the main character, June, she goes to this saloon where she meets the whole cast of people, a couple business partners that the father had, his wives, or I guess his other wives, because the wife that married him to have June, whenever they had June, the main character, she's dead. And we slowly learn some more deep, dark secrets about all these people that are here, the business family, the Indian wife and son of the deceased now father. And they say, we're going to go to Wichita, and he wants us to get there so that we can read the full will and say what is going to happen to everybody, what everybody's going to get. And we meet this horse named Hendido, and it was the father's horse, and he didn't get along with anybody except for the father. So they try to get him out of there. He causes a ruckus, breaks an arm of one of the businessmen after he tries to contain the horse. But whenever the horse Hendido captures the eye of June, and June captures its eye, it calms down, and it's decided that she's going to ride off with Hendido. And that was also part of the message anyways. He handpicked this horse for her. So they start on their little trip to Wichita to end up riding out there to read the will. And they're all bickering about it because they don't want to really do this. They just want to know what they got and what they're going to receive. But they end up setting up camp, and it comes to our attention, at least it's kind of said, that the rations aren't properly prepared. So they're going to have to make do. And it sounds like that might have been potentially on purpose. But the guy who broke his arm ends up drinking a whole bottle of whiskey while they are setting up camp. And everybody goes to sleep, and then he goes to have a piss. And something happens to this dude, and I'm not gonna lie, he got what he deserved. But personally, this was a really good introduction. It lets you into the world, lets you get to know some of these characters, what their motivations could possibly be, and also just an insight into what the dad was like before he died and what type of a person he was. And personally, I'm going to get another issue. So The Dirt Beneath the Devil is a buy for me, but it was a little slow. There wasn't too much action, but I like the mystery and the story that they're building here. I think it could really benefit from a action-packed second issue where it keeps building and building up to trying to get to Wichita. And I like the idea of it. I like the older attires and all the different looks for all the characters. I think Dan Panosian might have something here with The Dirt Beneath the Devil. Let me know if you guys picked it up and what your thoughts are of it down in the comments. And last and not least, I have Queen in Black, Defenders of Light and Dark. And I loved this one so much more than the actual Queen in Black storyline. Maybe the first issue having 56 pages on the Queen in Black issue 1 kind of detrimented it because you're trying to over-explain and catch everybody up. This was just straight action, straight story. You're actually diving into the characters, what their plans are, and what's going to happen. So we get the two teams, Team Dark and Team Light. You can see the members of the team there. Cable and Tony are basically talking about their differing opinions on the plans, what they really should be doing, and why they are doing it. So if you didn't see Team Dark, you have Iron Man, Flash, Anti-Venom, Cable, Darkstar, and Cloak. And then on Team Light, you're having Beta Ray Bill, Photon, Sunfire, and Dagger. Essentially, Team Dark is going after Hela. Team Light is going after Cloak. Team Light is going after Null. Anyways, or I think I have it the other way around. That's my bad. But they then go off and they start their mission. Beta Ray Bill's giving his squad a whole pep talk, and still nobody knows anything about Asgard and any of these gods or whatever. But he sends his team into action, gives a really good speech, and honestly, the action was really good. I thought the art was very, very solid, held up well throughout the entire book. And then you see Team Dark go over to Null, and you see that he has the power of the full light spectrum. If you didn't read the Null series, essentially, Null can now has the whole light spectrum belonging to him. So whenever they try to sneak in there through a cloak, he obviously sees them, and it starts to go down from there. And then Team Light, on the other hand, just goes in guns blazing, and they are fighting off Hela's army. And then you come to learn about Tyr and how Tyr Odinson, the god of war, and he tries to go have a talk with Beta Ray Bill and try to convince him, like, hey, I'm doing this for the good of Asgard. You know that me, Hela, and you are the only living remnants of the memories of Asgard. And that kind of gives him a second to think about what he's doing. Then he goes back to fighting Tyr Odinson. And then Cloak goes to Plan B, and Plan B goes in the worst of ways, and it leaves Cloak and a potential holdup for what is going to happen to the future of that character, and Dagger as well. Dagger gets in a position where, you know what, either way, Cloak and Dagger, huge issue for them. The future for them may be nothing, but we'll see. This was a really good issue 1, and it sucks that it's a tie-in, because it kind of makes you not want to read the tie-in if you're not reading the main story. But I will continue to read this because there are so many great characters: Iron Man, Cable, Cloak and Dagger, Beta Ray Bill, especially Beta Ray Bill. But then you're also getting some Hela, God of War, Tyr Odinson, Null. For me, Queen and Black Defenders of Light and Dark is going to be a buy. I actually really liked this tie-in, and I wonder if you guys did too. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Let me know what you think about all the books I discussed in today's episode. If I had some wrong opinions, or if you had some differing opinions. Anyways, remember, keep reading those comics panel by panel. If you made it this far into the video, please leave a like and subscribe. But I will see you guys on Monday for my panel by panel comic review. I hope you guys have a tremendous rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.